Alrighty. How is everybody this fine Tuesday? I hope everyone survived the weekend. And what I mean is that you got a lot of creating done for World Card Making Day. So I'm actually here with Rebekah. Sorry, I just said no R and I just called you Rebekah. Becca, one of our creative partners. Say hi, Becca.
Hi, guys.
Hey. Okay, so she actually has not really done the live for these crafting events. This is her first one. I'm really excited for her to share some insight. I always love what she creates, and of course she's shared in the community and just different places. So I'm excited for her to share this mini album that she's been working on or created. Anyways, all of the insights and tips and tricks that she has to share with us that we all can be inspired by each other. Okay, so I'm just giving her a minute to pop that up and see the comments. Are you seeing that there? Perfect. Okay, and you got it shared and everything. Perfect. All right. Well, then I am going to go ahead and turn the time over to you, and I'm excited to be inspired.
Cool. All right. Well, I am excited to do this, and hopefully you can see me. I'm lagging on my end, so if I get a little late on your comment, I apologize. Okay. So what we're going to be making today is this really cute, I love you like a bee loves honey. It's a little mini album that I saw Heidi Swap make a couple months ago for a baptism for a friend. And so I thought it was really cool. And so I made this and taught it as a class. And so now I'm going to teach you guys because it's fun and you can get so many photos in this thing. I mean, lots and lots of pages. So the only really complicated part is the two sides, putting them together. So I'm going to show you with this little girl pack that I have. This one I use Happiness is Homemade, and then I use the little bee from our Just Because. So it's really easy to put together. You want to make sure you have strong adhesive. I suggest something like Scor-Tape because Scor-Tape will hold anything. And it's a little bit more easy to rip when your hands are full anyway. So you're going to need to get 2 pieces of chipboard or cardboard, and I just use like my trimmer to cut it down to the size I need. And you can see it's not going to be exactly like perfect, but it'll work. And you're going to cut it down to 5.5 by 3 3/4. A lot of times if you buy like journaling mats, there will be a card in there already, and you can just cut it down a little bit. So, or if you buy cardstock, sometimes they put cardboard in there. So it doesn't have to be pretty. They're not going to see it. So that's what you're going to use. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cut 10 sheets of paper from whatever pack you have to make this. So I suggest using either, sorry, our double layout kits because they have at least 10 sheets of paper in here, plus more ideas. And you won't actually, some of them you'll be able to cut a little bit out of another piece. So you're good there. And or like a little mini pack like from like Echo Park has, this one has 12 in there, and my sister's having a baby girl, so I decided I'm going to make one out of this. And this is old, this is from like years ago, but I just think it's super cute, so I'm going to use that one to make the one we're going to do today. And then you're just going to zhuzh it up with your templates and things like that once you get it all assembled. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so the Happiness is Homemade. Again, this is Heidi Swap, and she does have a video on her Instagram page for it. It was back in, I think, February, but it is missing quite a few. I apologize. My little llama is hanging out in the screen, so I'm going to move her. She has a video, but it is missing quite a few of the actual dimensions you need. And so I'm going to do this for you guys. I'm going to start to assemble it and show you how to do it and put it together. And then I will, underneath, I will add a comment that has what the actual dimensions are that you're going to need for the entire project. Okay. So don't worry about having to rush and write stuff down because I will do that for you at the end. Okay. So again, I use Happiness is Homemade because it's super cute. Now the couple things you want to remember when you're putting together an album like this is if you have paper that has a direction, and what I mean is like the chickens, for example, the jars, if they're put in upside down, then they're upside down in the book. So you want to make sure that those directions are correct. and also your rooster. So if you have something that has a direction on it, like the rest of these are just, they can go any direction and they're fine. And really the roosters, you're going to cover some of that up with stickers and pictures anyway, and templates, so you won't care. But this one, you really want to be cautious that you're doing it the right direction. So, okay. So when you go to cut, you just want to make sure that you're cutting things properly. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to take that cardstock that we have. Cardboard. I keep saying cardstock. And you're going to take the sticker sheet. You're not going to need that. And then you're going to actually take your papers and you're going to decide which ones you want to use in the album. Now see, this one has a direction. This is one I was talking about. So you want to make sure that you cut this direction. So you want to cut horizontally because it is a horizontal book. Because if you cut this vertically, when you go to put it in the album, it's going to be sideways. So, okay. So we're just going to start cutting. You're going to do 10 pieces that are 5.5 by 7 3/4. So it's wide enough that you can do 2 out of 1 piece of paper. And then, so you just want to select which one. So I think this one's really cute, and you want to make sure you like both sides, because on some of them, you're going to use the front and some of them you're going to use the back. So like this one I like, but that's going to be kind of weird when I go to cut it because it's got the 4 corners that are different. And so I might use 1 piece of this and 2 of this because I like both sides, if that makes sense. And you'll see more what I mean once we get started. All right. So the ones that have like the corners, like I'm definitely using this one because the birds are my favorite. So, so you're just going to select which ones you like the most and start cutting. All right. So I'm just pulling the ones that I think are going to be the best for what I'm doing. That's the hardest part of any project, is selecting the paper you like the most and using it. So really, you could do this out of 5 sheets, or you could not do it out of 5 sheets. You could do it out of as many, up to 10. So, okay. So these are the ones I've selected to keep. And then I just really like that side because it needs a little bit of that color in there. So I am going to keep this one, I think, out because I've got that plaid, which will work. Okay. And this one, I like the cupcake, but maybe I don't know. Anyway, so here we go. All right, so you're just going to select what you like. You got that part done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will work. Okay. And you're going to start cutting them. And again, you want to make sure that when you're cutting, that they're all cut horizontally so that your animals or anything that goes up and down are the correct way to go. Okay, so I'm only going to cut a couple of these because I'm just trying to give you the main gist of what we're doing here. So we've got 5.5, and you want to cut that piece first, and then you want to turn it and cut it at 7 3/4. And the cool part about this is your leftover pieces will end up being pieces you can use to mat a picture and things like that inside of your book once you start. So, all right, so I'm going to do 2 of those. So I'm going to cut that down to 5.5 again. And 7 3/4. Okay, so I'm just going to show you now. All the pieces that fall off become important later. So you definitely want to hold on to them because, again, these can be mats, but then these pieces we might be able to use for, say, the spine. So we're just going to make sure that we've got those all straight. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to take our scoring blade, or if you have a bone folder, you can use that. Once you've cut all 10 of them, your next step is to score them. And we will be scoring them all in half, and I'll show you why. So if you look at this, now see this one, I actually did make a boo-boo. So I covered it with one of my extra pieces, as you can kind of see here, and I just cut it a little bit. But if you look at this, these are all folded in half. So you're going to take your 10 pieces and you're going to score them all in half. So half would be a really weird number. It's like, you know, half of 7 3/4. So I just kind of look at it and go, so some of these I want to fold this direction, right? Because what's going to happen is it will be on this side. And some I want to fold this direction because I want that to be the side you see. So if you look at that, I'm just going to give it a little pinch to see where exactly you want it to go. If you look at that number, it's actually like, if you want an exact number, it's 1 notch below the 4. So that is 3 and like 15/16, I believe. Anyway, so I just kind of go by the first one and say, okay, that's where I want to score it. And I want this cute little bird side. So I'm going to score it and then use that to kind of fold them down. Okay. And you're going to continue to do that. Now for everyone that you did 2 of, I would suggest doing, unless you made a big old boo-boo or something and cut it the wrong direction and it has a direction, then you want to use the back side. But I would do every one, if you have 2, do one with this side and one with this side. So what you end up with is when you go to put the book together, you end up with different pieces of paper. Now, if you really, really hate something on the back side of something, then do both the same. But it's really versatile in the way it's going to come out, so it doesn't really matter. So, all right. So you're going to have, when you're done, 2 sets of 5 of these, okay? All right, so what you're going to start to do is then, once you've got 5, what you're going to do is you're going to do basically 5 pages on one side and 5 on the other. So since I want one to be bird side and one to be pink side, I'm going to put them on different sides of the album. And then always remember, if you're using a trimmer that has different blades that you can attach, remember to switch your blades out because that's a problem if you don't. Okay. Yeah, I've done that before and it wasn't with a scoring blade either. So it ended up being like really, really bad. Anyway. Okay. So you're just going to continue to do this. And I was going to wait and not, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do them because I'll show you why in a minute, why that's kind of important that you do. And do be careful. I did use my trimmer to cut this, but it will dull your blade if you're not careful. So I need to learn from my own mistakes. Anyway. Okay, so this side would be really cute to do a spine with. So just saying. All right, so you're going to do that for all the pieces. And again, you're going to score all the pieces in half. I have found it is much easier to cut things first, do all the cutting, and then all the scoring when I have a lot to do, because it just makes it go so much faster when you don't have to keep switching things out. You know what I mean? So, and normally I would have done this before I taught you guys, but I just didn't have time for that. So, all right. All right, so here we go. And it really honestly doesn't take that long to do. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need 4 more, right? Yeah. Decisions. That's much. Okay. All right. So someone said that backwards and that would not have worked. So and there's that bright blue I wanted in there. My sister is not a girly girl, so I mean, she likes like rose gold, but her favorite colors are all the fall colors, like the sangrias and the blush and stuff. So knowing her, a whole lot of pink's probably not going to make her so happy. So I'm going to add a little pop of blue in it. First, like a teal blue anyway, right? And this one actually, I might do the purple because she, well, I don't care. Anyway, she'll like it because I made it for her anyway, right? Anything homemade, they make better. Okay. All right, so the last piece right here. And kind of be looking at it when you're doing it, because one of these is going to end up being your cover. And you want to make sure you like what you see. So make sure there's at least one that you like a lot, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to put that scoring blade in. If I haven't lost it, there we go. And do all of the pieces in half. So that one notch below 4. Fold them in half. Oops. Okay, because it's just paper, right? So you can switch it. Right. I guess you guys don't have any questions so far. I don't see any comments. And again, I will put the dimensions afterwards. So there's that. So let me make sure I'm not just missing them or something. Yeah. Okay, good. So you can start to see we're getting a book, right? All right, so I hope there's not a delay. Now see, I really don't, well, I can like that side. But if there's a side you really don't like, you can always do 2 of the same. Like I can go back and say, I don't like that, and just switch this to all blue. Teal, it's like a teal color. Looks more blue on the screen, but it is actually more of a teal. Okay. So I hope you guys are enjoying this change to fall. By the way, I almost picked fall paper for this because that would be a cute book too. And then I even thought about doing like Halloween, but then I changed my mind because I love doing mini albums for gifts, and I love doing mini albums for things like a one-off occasion. So Halloween would have been cute if you don't have like a ton of pictures that you want to put in there. Again, this is going to make, you know, enough to do, I think it's 10 pictures at least. So, you know, you could do a lot with it, but you don't have to. You can put more templates if you have less pictures. You can put, you know, add some stickers if you wanted to. It's all in how you want to do it, because again, we're here to play, to create, and to have fun and not have to worry about rules, right? Now, it's kind of like baking. There are some things that have to have rules. So if you cut something wrong, obviously you're not going to have an album when you're done. That looks very good. But if you follow the directions for the album, the rest can be whatever you want it to be. It's all up to you. This actually would make a cute cover. I don't know. Anyway, I folded that one wrong. Okay. All right. So we've got our 10 pieces, and this is what that's going to look like. And I've got all my little leftover bits. All right, and now what we're gonna do is we're going to divide them in half, and I'm gonna switch this back because if I don't, I will forget, and I'll go to cut something and it will be scoring them instead. So, okay. So now you wanna look at, so this album is gonna be half and half, right? So you wanna look at which pieces you want on the left and which pieces you want on the right side of your book. So you're gonna do, like I just go like this, half and half, right? Now, they're gonna open differently. So this half of the book is gonna open this direction to the right, and this half of the book is gonna open to the left. So keep that in mind. So if I want my cover to be, for example, these cute little, actually, it won't matter because it's going to get covered up, if I remember correctly. Okay. So just decide what you like next to each other. So kind of look at it and go, you know, do I like that together? Because if I don't, I'm going to want to switch that out. Do I want plaid with that? You know, and obviously the ones that are the same will work together because they are already the back and front of each other. But you may want to switch some stuff out. Like I don't want this one to be with the one that's the same as the one that's there. So I'm going to switch it. Okay. So now you're going to take your chipboard, which I'm going to move this out of the way so you can actually see what I'm doing here. And you're going to start gluing stuff together. Okay, actually we have two pieces I forgot to cut. So there's two pieces of paper that we're going to cut at 5.5 by 8. And those will become the cover. So I forgot about that part. So you want to make sure it's paper you like, again. And again, I'm going to write up instructions to make this easier for everybody. Oops, I hit the... So this would make a cute cover. I think I'll use that one. And I don't know, guys, what do you think? Polka dots or hearts? I could use that as the other side. This one I don't think would work unless I use the back side. And that has all the squares, so that one wouldn't work at all. Okay. See, that makes decisions easier. All right, so we're going to use this one. I apologize for that. You can use two of the same piece, but just keep in mind whatever's on the back is going to be what you're going to need on the other side, because you definitely want to have different pieces for this one. I think I'm going to do these two. All right, so I apologize. I totally forgot to cut those two pieces. Those are your cover, actually, so I was wrong. All right, so 5.5 by 8. And I apologize, but you still want to have these like this because this will give you your pieces. Hey, that's the thing. We live and learn. Again, there are no mistakes in scrapbooking. All right, so 5.5 by 8. And again, I don't want to use the back side because it's got this on it. So I'm just going to do the two at 5.5. I feel like the cupcakes are cute, but they wouldn't work for the back side just because they're a little bit too busy with the colors we have going on already. All right. I can't believe I did that. I'm sorry. So we're going to cut two pieces that are 5.5 by 8. Again, they're going to become our spine of our book, or not spine, our cover. Now we're going to score these a little differently because again, they are going to become our cover, and we need to leave some room for a spine. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put this in. I'm going to move this up so you can actually see what I'm doing here. I'm going to put my scoring blade back in, or if you have a score pal or just a way to score it. All right. And you're going to put your paper at 3 3/4. Okay. And you are going to score it. Then you're going to flip it around and put it at 3 3/4 again and score it. So what that's going to do is that's going to give you a spine for your little album. And you'll see why that's important when we go to put it together. So there you go. All right. So 3 3/4. Flip it. 3 3/4. Okay. Okay. So now you'll see it's going to be more like a book. Okay. Okay, guys. So here we go. So these two pieces are going to become our covers pieces. So these pieces are going to sit like this, basically, over the book. I'm just going to put those there so I can remember that. And then we're just going to start adhering. So this piece I've decided was the back. And we're going to, sorry, we're going to use our Scor-Tape and we're going to adhere. And I always say less is more, depending on what you're working on. Most of the time, less is more. And you're going to adhere your chipboard to the back of it. So what I do is I just do a little bit around the edges. With the spine, you're probably going to want to put a little bit in the middle, but not a lot. I'm not the spine, the back end of your book. Okay. All right. So you're going to do, that's probably good. You just want to make sure it's not going to come off, right? And I use the thinner one. So let me get my fatter one. This will make it go faster too. All right. So there you go. All right, so you put all your adhesive on the back, and then what you're actually going to do, I forgot, this part's probably more important to do first. You're going to actually adhere these guys to each other. And remember, some are going to go this direction, and some are going to go this direction. So you're going to want to make sure that you like, when you open it, what's together. So I don't like that. I'm going to flip it. So this will be together. And so on and so on. So you just want to make sure you like it. It doesn't look trippy. Okay. So you're going to start with this side. And hopefully you can see it. I'm going to move my, there. That way you can see a little better. And you're just literally going to take the back, put adhesive on it. And I have used the thinner papers and they work okay, but I'll be honest with you, the thicker papers are really what you need if you want this to be a hardy book. If you want it to withstand the test of time, you want to have thicker paper. And there are different, widths. You want the more cardstock thickness, the Kiwi Lane and the Echo Parks and those kind of thickness is what you really want. Graphic 45 would work for this really well. Oh, that'd be kind of cool actually. All right, so you're just going to put adhesive on the back of it, and I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to do the front and back so you can see what we're going to do next, because you'll get the gist basically of what I'm doing. All right, so you put your adhesive on the back, and Scor-Tape is super sticky, so make sure you know exactly what you're doing when you go to set it down, because you don't want to have to do this again. It won't come off easily. And you want to line up your pieces, so you want them to be spine to spine, like that, and then you're just going to press down. So what you're doing is you're creating this book. So now these two pieces are together, and then you're going to do that all the way to the back of those 5 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once these are all attached, then you're going to take this piece of chipboard, which will be a little bit smaller, which is what you want. You don't want it to sit on your spine. You need that little wiggle room on your spine here. So you want to make sure when you glue it that you only glue it that far. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on one side only, just to show you for the sake of time. And what I'll do is when I finish this project, I'll post a picture of it in the Play to Create group so you can see it, or in the comments. Actually, I'll post it in the comments. Okay, so this one's stubborn and doesn't want to come off. There we go. So again, you want to make sure, and let's pretend that's all stuck together, but you want to make sure that you're not exactly on the very edge of your spine. You need some wiggle room, but that you're not going over the whole thing either. So, and it will adhere just like that. All right, so now your spine is free. You've got your back on your book, and you're going to do the same thing on this side, but keep in mind when you do it that the book opens like this. So for your left side pages, your spine should all be on the left, and for your right side pages, your spine should all be on the right. And you will adhere that just like that. Okay, so let's pretend I've done that. You're going to adhere all of that together, and then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take these pieces, which are your cover pieces, and you're going to not put glue here, not put glue in your spine area. You need that again to be free, but you're going to put glue on the front and back of these pieces. Okay. So what you're doing is you're covering up that piece of chipboard. You're basically creating a mini book, right? So let's pretend these are all glued. You're going to adhere that piece here, cover over the entire front. And again, you do not want to put any glue in the spine area, but you're going to glue that first page on just like this. And what you're going to end up with, again, if this was glued, you'd see it better, but what you're going to end up with is basically a mini book. Okay. So you're going to do the same thing on this side with this piece. No glue in the spine, covering everything up, and your book will look like this. Okay. So then what you need to do is you need to cut a spine piece. And that's just to adhere both sides together. So as you can see here, if you really look closely, you've got your album, right? And then you've got your spine piece. Okay. Okay, sorry. Whew, this is harder than I thought. I'm just making sure I'm doing this right, y'all. Okay, got it. Okay, so then you're gonna make your spine. I'm trying to figure out where the other piece goes. Oh, got it. Okay. All right, so then you're gonna make your spine, and you can take a piece that you already have that you like that would contrast really well. So for this one, I think I would use this one because that might be too much actually. So I might use the back end. Ooh, or even better. Let's use this piece. All right, so this will become my spine. What do you think? Yeah, we like that. Okay, so your spine, you're gonna cut a piece. Sorry. that is 5.5 by 4. Whoops. Okay, so 5.5 is already 5.5. And turn it and cut it at 4. You're just cutting a little tiny smidgen off the end. Then you're going to then score that. I should just keep my scoring blade out. At 1.5. Okay, this is going to sound weird, but you're going to actually score it at 1.5 on one side. Okay, turn it around and score it at 2 inches. Okay, so that gives you that 1/2 inch spine, right? But you're like, one side's bigger than the other. That's okay, because you don't want the front and back actually to match. If you look at this, the back side has more than the front. Okay. All right, and then last but not least, what you're gonna do, you have one more piece to cut, is actually you're gonna put these two together. Let me show you. All right, hold on. Okay, you're going to cut one more piece, and that is going to become your inside piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this piece, this last piece here. And you're going to cut this one at 5.5. You have a lot of 5.5s, huh? It's because, oh, and see, look, I did it. I didn't even follow my own rules. All right, put that blade back in there, Becca. All right, so 5.5 by 8. And this is going to become the inside piece, and you'll see why this is important, because this is what actually adheres the entire book together. All right, so 5.5 by 8. And you're going to score this piece at 3 3/4 and 4 1/4. Okay, so 3 3/4 and 4 1/4. And this becomes the inside of what holds the entire book together. And I will show you what I mean. All right. Okie dokie. All right, so what's going to happen is you've got all this stuff glued in. Everything's great. Everything's hunky-dory. This piece is glued here. But what the heck is going to hold it all together? Well, that's where this piece comes into play. And I don't, yeah, I like that. One side is bigger than the other. So you want to make sure you get the right one. Okay. So you're going to actually glue on that last piece on the inside left. You're going to glue that piece there. Okay. So if you want to make it stay where it needs to go. And again, no glue on the spine. All right. Same thing over here. You're going to take the piece that you've adhered. You're going to glue it there. And now you have a book that opens like this, but it doesn't look very pretty. And that's where you come in now. And again, no glue on the spine. You're going to put your glue there, and boom, you have a finished book. Okay. All right. So that's how you do that. And then you just go through and decorate your pages. And I'll show you this one again. I haven't started decorating it. And if you make a really bad boo-boo, like if you accidentally, I had one piece where it was upside down. And so I just took one of these extra pieces and cut it down to fit. And you can do that anywhere. And some of them, I just liked how they were, so I didn't do anything. But and don't worry if it doesn't exactly lay flat at first. After a while, it will start to do what it's supposed to. And you can kind of shimmy it to make it work. So that's my time today. I just wanted to show you how to do that. And I will show you both of these finished. This one I haven't completely decorated. And then I will show you this one and give you dimensions for everything. And thanks guys for playing with me. I hope you had fun, and hopefully next time I will have more fun ideas for you. So thanks guys, enjoy and have a beautiful day.